always been passionate about women in the industry, right? Spent my whole career in construction. Normally not a lot of women in the room. I have seen it improve over the past 20 plus years, but we're definitely not where we need to be. Members and customers that I've spoken with, they all say over and over again, workforce is our biggest issue. How do we grow our workforce? Well, I could tell you how. More women. Anything I can do to continue to elevate and celebrate women in this space, it is 100% one of my top priorities.
How do you find those people that can help you get to where you want to go and you can learn from? Because that can sometimes be tough for people in our industry.
I know it's tough because I've really never found originally a mentor. When I was growing in my career, I found mentors actually when I already became a CEO. Sometimes people can mentor you without you ever meeting them because you're following the work that they do.
Welcome to the Paradigm Industry Insiders podcast, where real people share real stories about what's happening with doors, windows, millwork, and life. I'm John Wheeler, and along with my co-hosts, we sit down with your peers who are moving our industry forward. These are honest conversations packed with practical insights and lessons you can take and bring value to your team. Here's today's conversation.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Paradigm Industry Insiders podcast. I'm your host, Stefanie Couch, and today I'm actually doing a on the floor of GlassBuild live episode with my friend and the CEO of the National Glass Association, Lakisha Woods. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie, for having me.
And we have had a wild 3 days in Orlando. It has been amazing. Such a great turnout, people and technology and all of the happenings here.
Yes.
Crazy fun.
So much fun and so much energy in the room.
Yeah. And this is your first GlassBuild.
It is my first GlassBuild.
Well, tell me, I know that there was a really cool thing that happened yesterday, and I don't think you saw it coming. Tell me about the drum line.
So I was told the day before that we hand out Best in Show prizes. And you know, I've seen we hand out awards at many trade shows, kind of normal. But they set a parade, and I just thought, okay, we're going to walk around together and hand out these awards. But that drum line, and especially just because they're high school kids, they've got that energy and that just passion. It was the best experience I have ever had.
It's so fun. And I saw you walking around, and I was like, that just looks like an epic experience. Next year, I'm getting in on it.
Next year, I'm going to dress appropriately for the walk. I was like, I need an outfit just for this event.
Oh, 100%. We can work on that.
Oh, yes,
sure.
I'm sure. I will consult you at a whole other level.
I love it. Well, I am excited to talk with you. We met a few weeks ago for the first time at WDMA, and obviously we're here at GlassBuild. There's a lot of cool things happening in NGA right now, and you've got some great partnerships going. You are newly appointed as the CEO. You've got a great team. What has been some of the things that you've seen here at GlassBuild, or some of the buzz? Like we just had the Women in Glass. Tell me about that.
Well, I've always been passionate about women in the industry, right? Spent my whole career in construction. Normally not a lot of women in the room. I have seen it improve over the past 20 plus years, but we're definitely not where we need to be. And I know that members and customers that I've spoken with, they all say over and over again, workforce is our biggest issue. How do we grow our workforce? Well, I could tell you how. More women.
Yeah.
And so anything I can do to continue to elevate and celebrate women in this space, it is 100% one of my top priorities. And also just improving awareness of this industry. Because again, spent my whole career in construction, had no idea that this show existed. And my friends that are still at all my previous associations said, GlassBuild, what's that? And of course, now they're seeing all my social, they're like, oh my gosh, we have to go to that show. Like, yes. And we need to partner so that we can elevate this show, the presence, and the people who can be in the room.
Yeah, absolutely. I think partnerships are one of the ways that I've seen personally, I've seen so much success from that. But, you know, there's a lot of different associations. There's a lot of shows. And when we start to collaborate like that, really cool things can happen, because usually there is enough difference where, you know, you can learn so much from each other. What type of partnerships? I mean, you're saying partnerships, you're talking about people in the industry. If you're out there listening and you're like, what is GlassBuild? What is NGA? Who should come to this show next year?
Well, one of the things I'm hearing from our exhibitors is they want more architects to attend. And so we invited a few of my architect friends. I think I know,
a few things about architects, right?
And so I invited a handful. And it was great to see their reaction as soon as they walked in and they came up to me and they said, I've never seen anything like this. And then they turned to the other architect, like, have you seen anything like this? No, this is impressive. And then they started asking them, so wait, is like, how much does it cost? What time, like, is it always this time of year? And they really were inquiring into how they can to do more. And one of them was like, came in with a list. I need to meet a decorative glass company. I need to meet this. She had a whole list of what she wanted to see. And I got a text this morning. She's already doing business with one of our board members.
Wow.
I said, that's what this is about. And they said, we are going to give you a list of all the things we can see that will change that perception or increase awareness among the architecture community. And that's just one audience that I know our exhibitors have said they want. There are other industries that don't have a conflicting trade show date, so we can partner and not impact their business and not impact ours. But I think just like architects so often will design something and then sometimes the general contractor will value engineer it out. Like, let's talk to AGC, or this is the Glass Window and Door Expo. Let's talk to NAHB. The Home Builder Show is in February. We're in September. We can collaborate. And so those are the things that I see that are going to be really helpful.
That's exciting. And I think coming in with a fresh perspective, but you have so much background in the industry. So I want to double click on that a little bit. Tell me about your story and all of the cool things you've done. We don't have enough time to go through everything, but tell me the highlights of, you do have that background at the American Institute of Architects, and you have a background in building science and all these other things. So tell me a little bit about how you got into this.
Well, this was a job that I took kind of right out of college. One of the things I did was I actually just went on the interview to practice interview skills, because I don't know what the National Ready Mix Concrete Association is, but that was my first, or I was like, but it's a marketing manager job. Let me check it out. And by the time I got home from the interview, I already had an offer letter and a benefits package sitting on my doorstep.
Wow.
And I was so excited by the speed at which they made me an offer, because, in college, you want things fast, that I said, they move fast at this company. I have to go work there. It ended up being a joke, because our associations in general do not move fast, but my boss did. He was definitely a speedy person. And I learned a lot from him. And that's why I kind of stayed. I followed him to the first couple of companies. I followed him to AGC and to NAHB. And I really just love the industry. The fact that you can look around and see the work that your members do. You can touch it. You can feel it. You can see how it's impacting and changing lives. Who doesn't want to elevate that? Who doesn't want to tell people about it and get them involved? And people have always been kind to me. I may look different, but they wanted to know, how do I get more people like you into this space? And so that's what's really important. And even when you face challenges, there were all those other people who were like, I don't know why that person's crazy. Like, I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
And so, everything is not going to be sunshine and roses. But it's those tough stories that you get through that make you even better and also help you find your purpose.
Great point about someone that might not elevate you, and then you just turn around and find someone else who will. Don't let it stop you. And there are so many people in this industry that have really helped me as well. The mentorship and talking about that person you kind of moved up with, that's happened to me as well. What would you say to someone who maybe is thinking about getting into our industry or is early in their career about mentorship, and how do you find those people that can help you get to where you want to go and you can learn from? Because that can sometimes be tough for people in our industry.
It is, and I know it's tough because I really never found originally a mentor when I was growing in my career. I found mentors actually when I already became a CEO, and that was because I joined an association. I got involved as a volunteer, and then those people that were at higher levels that were on, those committees, or when I joined a board. Those are the people who helped mentor me and help me become a better CEO. As a first-time CEO, they're like, we've got your back, and here are the tools and resources I've been using for 30 years. So I had an opportunity to kind of get a foot ahead because of the people who partnered with me. And I think that's sort of what it's all about. Sometimes look online and just follow the people that you see and you like what they're doing. Sometimes people can mentor you without you ever meeting them because you're
agree.
following the work that they do.
100%. That's such a great point. If you're watching now in 2025, there are so many resources. Like YouTube by itself is a mentorship program. If you find the person, there are people that are sharing information that would be like us having this conversation right now. They're talking to the camera. They're sharing stuff that's super personal and very specific. You can learn to do anything on YouTube. And so I think that podcasts have been great. Books. Are there any like great podcast books or people that you follow? I'm just curious because I would love to pick your brain on that.
You know, I have a book that I love, and I always tell people about it, and it's How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci. And I always reference that book because he did everything, right? He was an architect, an engineer, a writer, a poet, an artist, and he just kept trying new things. And sometimes I think people, they get stuck in a hole and they think this is all I can do. There's nothing more for me. And instead of like, oh, but I've always wanted to do art, like, oh, well, then try it. Like, who says you can't? Maybe you're not good at it. Maybe you get better. Maybe you don't. And then try something else. But I really loved that because it made me step back and say, what is it that I've had a passion for that I've never made the time to try because I'm just doing what I know I have to do? You've got to make time for yourself.
Yeah.
And that self-care and taking care of yourself will help you actually influence and inspire others. When people see you taking the time to take self-care, to do, something different, they're watching and they're learning. And that's definitely what I've noticed from people who've shared with me their thoughts about what they've seen me do.
I'm curious, what do you like to do in your spare time when you're not running the NGA fun GlassBuild shows?
I say the toughest job I have is being a mother. My daughter is 7 years old. She inspires me every day. She's the reason I wrote the book. I wanted her to have a resource to turn to say, you are as good as you want to be. You have to believe in yourself. Recognize we have strengths and weaknesses, and don't be that person that says, how come I didn't get a promotion? I've been here 2 weeks, right? You've got to earn it. And that's still something that we have to be willing to do. But I wanted her to have those resources, and it ended up being a resource for other people. But my daughter is my joy. And so anytime, this is actually the first time I've attended an annual meeting as a CEO where my daughter and my husband weren't with me.
Well, you got to bring them next year because that drum line, she's going to love that.
She would have loved it. She's in 2nd grade now, so it made a difference getting out of school, and he's a teacher.
Matching
so I said,
outfits.
okay.
I'm seeing matching outfits. I love it.
We may have to get her excused from 3rd grade.
We have to do it next year. We have to make it happen. Well, I want to talk about the book because you are an incredible leader, an incredible woman. Your book is something that has a really cool title. So tell me about the title and tell me where it came from.
Never Get Their Coffee, Empowering Fearless Leadership. The title I really created because of my very first job, where I watched a woman who was a leader in the company leave the room because she was told to go get coffee for the male customers who just arrived. And I was sitting in the room thinking that they would have probably sent me, but they didn't. And the men just started talking about her project because she wasn't there. When she came back in, she was trying to find her way. And it just really bothered me. And I said to myself, I will never get their coffee. Like, that is not our job. Now, don't get me wrong. Another thing I say in the book is, if it is your job to get coffee, like, get the coffee.
Don't take this too literally.
Yes, and it's not necessarily about the coffee, especially because I will tell you what I also wrote about was, in today's environment, note-taking is the new version of getting coffee.
Yes.
How many times have you sat in even a Zoom session or a team session and somebody says, oh, who can take notes? I've sat on a million of these CEO calls. Everybody on the call is a CEO. It is always the woman that is asked to take notes. And I speak up. I don't know, Ryan, why don't you take the notes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's take turns.
Now we have AI note takers, which are the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Very
personally.
true.
I love it. Well, the premise of that is so important to think about what are you doing and what is your job and how do you stand out in that. We talked a lot about today in the women's event about visibility, about using your voice, about standing in your power. What was some of your takeaways from today and what excites you the most about this Women in Glass initiative?
I just love that everyone, you have to acknowledge when there is a challenge and when we aren't where we need to be. Everybody said, hey, our numbers aren't big, but they're growing. And also, I loved the stories that people told me about events that they're doing locally, bringing people together, companies that are bringing women in their office together. And so that's what it is. It takes baby steps, and you can really, truly get people to grow because they're in that network. And we also, again, people talked about it's not just women talking to women. The men are leading so often, and so they need to know what they need to change in order to make an inclusive environment for all.
Absolutely. The men and the allies that are in the organization, they're super important because they're a lot of the people that can help us get to where we want to go or where women want to go.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm excited about what's to come for you, and I'm glad to have gotten to collaborate with you this time. I'm excited about 2026, and I'll leave you with one last question. If you had to say one thing that you're most excited about for the next year, you're 4 months into this role at NGA, what is that?
I'm excited about continuing to listen to our members, to our customers, and to our staff as we are contemplating new initiatives, new perspectives, new ways of addressing what we do to serve our industry. This is the time that I just love, hearing all the feedback and then getting ready to take action.
Amazing. Well, thank you for joining me on the Paradigm Industry Insiders podcast, and we will see you at the next show.
You got it. See you in Las Vegas.
See you in Vegas.
Thanks for joining us on the Paradigm Industry Insiders podcast. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast platforms and follow Paradigm on LinkedIn and YouTube to catch more stories, insights, and ideas from your peers across our industry. See y'all.